Therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is unseen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands. I still remember asking everyone last year to cut me some slack because it was my first sermon. Now it's my last as emerging leader, and I still ask for the same. The past year was truly special for me. I do not know how you put up with all of my visa drama and updates, but that's pretty much why I'm still standing here in front of all of you today. That quarter-page sticker, it's just really a sticker on my passport, well, with the papers with it, made me go through stages of questioning myself and my goals and of losing heart. For years, it was a challenge to find people who would truly understand what I was going through. Like, don't get me wrong, you all are all supportive, and I have a bunch of friends who are the same, but it's different when you're going through the same thing with another person. You know, I feel like I needed someone who was struggling on this path with me. And one of those few people was my friend Melina. Melina is from Argentina, and she also went to the UC Berkeley Graduate School of Journalism with me. And since we graduated in 2016, we kept each other updated with what we've been doing, with our visa processes and our life updates, especially that we weren't vying for the same type of visa. It was another layer for each of us to understand what is each other doing. We'd either go up to the big sea to take sunset time-lapse videos together, or we play around with new video equipment toys that we have, or maybe it's just a laid-back dinner that we have. Like, thinking about it now, we actually were doing great. But after a while of just talking to each other and spending time, we would always end up telling each other, this is hard, man. This is hard. People here don't understand how easier they have it. Thankfully, after that whole process of, you go through like, this is hard, to I'm going back to like whatever else, we always end up telling each other, imagine this. One day, it doesn't matter really, because one day we'll just laugh at ourselves about all of this. And we always try to remind ourselves how far we've come. In the scripture, Paul says, therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Here, Paul tells us that if we actually only look at appearances by what is seen on the outside, we'll definitely get it wrong. That yes, we'd accurately see what we can only see, but it doesn't reflect the whole picture. Paul goes by saying that it's okay to let ourselves or let our outer selves break down, because it's our inner selves that's being renewed day by day. And so I try to tell myself that throughout the year, that you go through this, you work hard, and sometimes you cut yourself some slack and you let yourself break down. And that's fine. Because I've learned not to discount or dismiss someone else's problems, as I know each one has it differently. I definitely cannot compare my struggle with, victims of labor trafficking, as I'll just end up telling myself that my problems don't matter, and they do. And they really do. At least to me, they do. And that's where I found myself growing, reminding myself of the payoff of going through the struggle. That's where I found myself here in this church. I spoke to Kit before she went on maternity leave. I think later on we'll show you a photo of Kit and the little baby. She asked me how I could describe my term as emerging leader. And by the time it was pretty an easy question for me, because I felt like I was given full permission to express and share who I am completely in this church. Like I said, I don't know how you tolerated me all this time, but that's why I love you all. I think for better or for worse, throughout that year, I knew all the visa chaos would come to an end at some point. For better or worse, I just wanted to know already. That was the big thing for me. It's like, I just wanted to know now. In January, just this January, I was offered a job as an associate producer at the investigative reporting program at UC Berkeley. But because my former legal status has expired, I needed to leave the country and hope to come back with legal status again. That Sunday, when you all blessed me before I left, I felt this very eerie silence. I felt first, was it, people are done? But at the end, it felt like it was really just sadness, at least to me. I didn't know how to face anyone in this church about that. I let Kit tell it to everyone. And I figured I'd just walk out the door as soon as blessing was over. Tiana was quick because she still was able to find me and showed me genuine kindness that is still unimaginable to me to this day. But that unimaginable kindness is something that I've gathered from everyone in this church ever since. Paul says, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." And this is a question we've had during worship planning is, what is unseen? I mean, let's face it, I knew I was coming back. I mean, it wasn't a sure thing though, but I booked my flight that Sunday when you guys blessed me. I left Tuesday, basically. I left my bedroom untouched because I knew in myself that I had this deep trust that I was coming back. And I knew it was just a process that I had to go through. And apparently, that's how Paul also claimed it to the Thessalonians, saying that the challenges we go through are part of life of faith, and they are signposts that we are proceeding as should be expected. I want to be careful with the next words and visuals that I'm showing. Usually I show you videos coming from my own experience, but this time I wanted to touch on an experience that is close to all of us. I want to recognize that seeing videos of the big fire of 2016 could be difficult for some. So you have a few seconds to turn away if you want to. Don't worry, there's also no audio in this thing. One of the last projects I'm hoping to finish sometime this year is a story about the big fires in the history of First Church. The last one happened on September 30th of 2016. I just wanted to take it a little bit to remember how it was, because I feel like it feels so far away now. It's a pretty big deal moving across town when your own ministers had to do a music video about where to find parking. And I felt like this was a big deal. And I remember we took our time, we grieved. We grieved and we saw after the fire, what happened, what we lost, what we needed to fix, what we need to plan ahead. And yet, we rebuilt. We rebuilt the sanctuary. Like, if you go through the next one, if we build through that we can see how this is like that before. Like it was just scaffolding everywhere, but now here we are today. And finally it says, "For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed." I didn't plan this to be like about the fire, burning fire, and this scripture was just amazing that it happened. We have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands. To me, what is unseen is this. Like we tell each other all the time, the church is not this building. It is us. We are the unseen. The fire lasted for a few hours. Pilgrim Hall is still healing. We are still healing. And when we realize that each other is our eternal house in each other, our inner selves will be renewed day by day. The same thing I carry with me in my own troubles. It's not the sunsets or the videos or the dinners that kept me together through the struggle with my friend. It is the fact that she was with me. My friend was granted a visa for individuals with extraordinary ability or achievement. She, she was nominated for a student Oscar the year before. And I got a visa for working research scholars. Pretty much it. But I came back on March and my life has drastically changed. Or basically after the immigration officer told me, okay, your visa is approved and you'll get it in 2 days. That's how drastically it changed me. Because as soon as I got here, I went immediately to working intensely. Weekends, evenings, you name it. Very beautiful life, very exciting. But it would come to reality. With it came the reality that I can no longer serve as full-time emerging leader. I felt so bad missing Sundays, especially that's become a priority to me the past year. And I felt like, yet here you are again, the church I know and love. You thanked for me still. You supported me still. And I remember during Molly's installation last year as senior minister, we promised her, and when it's time to let you go, we will release you. Which is something so beautiful to me up to this day. I hope that as you gave me permission to serve you as with who I am, you'd also release me in love and acceptance. My parents, who are here with us today, it was my mom's birthday yesterday. I didn't fly them because of my sermon, it was just because of my mom's birthday. But they have showed me that kind of love throughout my life. I mean, imagine releasing me in love to be halfway across the world and pursuing my dreams. And I feel like as a last thing, I just wanted to say that whether it's over visas or burning fires or stepping down from my emerging leader role, it doesn't have to be a permanent ending. It is a process, as Paul said, that we go through. I'll be back on the pews, figuring out how to continue serving you and reminding myself that you are my seen and my unseen. And that, I say, thank you, my church.